their own ideas to prove it to them. And Gyaltsab-je, who's one of the two famous disciples of Je Tsongkhapa, who's the founder of our lineage, is using even more deep and extensive reasoning to make sure that all of us understand perfectly what Nagarjuna was trying to explain. So it's a difficult text, and we're really wrestling our way through it. It's not something that we can do without the help of somebody like Geshe Michael, who has extensive studies in this subject, and it's an amazing opportunity for all of us to learn deeper ideas about philosophy and Tibet, and how to make sense of very, very abstract and complex ideas. So I feel really lucky to have the chance to work on this text, and I'm learning a lot by having the chance to do this.
Wow.
I'll pay $10.
Deal.
Now you just need 9,990 more.
Well, so Geshe Michael, I want to do the thank you thing while we still have our friends here, because some people have to leave. They're
It's still non-profit to work with you guys.
And that's only because of Dr. Word. Where is Word? I was trying to wait for
He's bringing all his money to give it back to me.
He's got to find a bag big enough with the correct cartoon dollar signs on it. Hey, Word, you out there? Maybe he's in the bathroom.
He ran off with the money.
Maybe we'll do the sing thing first, and maybe everybody will
Okay.
come back. Because it would be nice if he's here. Sashi-buki Jushing Meto Rari Ravingshi Yindeng Yen Bari Sangye Shingdu Mikte Uwar Idrokunamdak Shingla Jubarsho Idam Guru Ratnamandavakam Niyatayami Sangye Shridam Soki Choknamla Jamshu Bardu Dagni Gyapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gibe Sunamgi Drola Benchir Sangye Druparsho Sangye Shudang Soki Choknamla Jamshu Bardu Dagni Gyapsuchi Dagi Chenyen Gibe Sunamgi Drola Benchir Sangye Druparsho Sangye Shudang Soki Choknamla Jamshu Bardu Dagni Gyapsuchi Dagi Chenyen Gibe Sunamgi Drola Benchir Sangye Druparsho.
Shmogi doki. Shmogi oki doki.
Quick announcement. For fundraising purposes, Gina, who I don't know where she went, wants to take a picture of everybody, each translator.
Each of anybody.
Each of anybody.
So everybody or just the translator?
Just the translators.
Okay.
So if you guys could please make sure to get your photo taken by Gina after class today, that would be really great. You can get me after. And then just a couple of things. First of all, Tim and the team did a really amazing job archiving and just arranging the rooms. And so, thank you. Not only is it beneficial for the world, but we also depend on those videos to do our translations. So thank you so much. Ben Galmi helped a lot with that this time. And Gina also really appreciate making that happen. Thank you so much. And the other scholarship people who helped out to make this happen, Christina, Vimla, Hasso, thank you guys for your support in helping to make this happen. Venerable Chinzo,
No, I'm
but
not
thank you
Venerable.
for knowing Tibetan words and always surprising us.
Also, Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. If you're
Yeah.
around for Tuesday night, Dr. Wu, our generous and kind sponsor, is going to be he's invited us all to dinner at his hotel. So you might enjoy some
Can you
delicious.
eat for us?
What?
Can you eat more for us?
Eat more for
No
you.
problem,
Absolutely.
Stanley.
Yes.
But if you come, please dress business dress. Okay.
If you
And,
haven't told anyone yet, if you're planning to come, please tell Yi because she or Tim, because they need to get a head count. Yeah, we know that.
Fine.
Yeah, so please dress well in case some of his sponsors are there. Okay. And I think it'd be better to make sure it's vegetarian. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. It's already good. Yeah.
Okay, good.
And most importantly,
Most importantly,
thank you. I mean, none of this would be possible without you guys, Michael, and there's nobody in the world who translates like you, and we know that we can't carry on the tradition of translating the way you do because we can't. But we're gonna work really, really hard to try, and I think maybe all of us together can do some justice to the work that you've put forward in this world, and we just hope we can carry it on as best we can. Thank you guys.
and
Please.
this term especially has given me great hope. I see big change in the last term, since last term. So somehow it's working. I wasn't sure I was doing it the right way. Like maybe I should have homeworks and exams and.
This is
I thought-
definitely better.
I think in the long run it's going to be better. And I think that lady who visited from Oxford, she's part of a group that studies translators.
Yeah.
And she was very impressed. She works with a group that studies how people translate for the World Religions Group or I don't know, some big thing. So I think she was very fascinated by your progress and what you guys are doing. And I'm also fascinated. No, but I can sense it's going to be a lot easier from now on. So it's going really well. So I'm proud of you guys. I'm really proud of you.
Well, on behalf of the
Veronica was also proud of me because she was proud of you.
on behalf of the mixed nuts,
Thank you.
some flowers.
Yay!
And at best, we could score some points with you with that.
Yeah. This is how to score points with V. This is how to
small
score points
offering.
with Word.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah. Please keep teaching us. Please stay.
Please stay teaching
So
us.
$1.
Probably a few in there,
We'll put 100 on top.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I see it's going to work. And I'm going to work on your translations now. The time that I missed in the hospital, I can do in the next few weeks. Okay.
Cool. All right.
So we'll do his first, right?
Yeah, words and then
Who's
Sugar.
second?
Sugar.
Sugar. Okay.
Yeah,
Who's
and I
third?
I'll remind you later.
Okay. All right.
And I sent you the two Chinese logos.
Yeah, and then I have to do those.
Yeah.
And somebody wants me to edit the red Tsongkhapa book because we have to reprint it now.
Oh, and then there's, sunlight on the path of freedom.
Yeah.
Up on illumination. It's an amazing book.
Oh, I have a homework for you guys.
Oh yeah.
We have that in the. Oh, in your car?
What?
Oh no, it's in V's car. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Okay, here we go. Homework.
Yeah.
Comments. Okay.
Whoa.
In verse 13 of the 60 verses, Arya-Nagarjuna puts
Oh, I
forth the
like
question.
this.
If a monk is able to extinguish their mental afflictions by blank, then why didn't blank fill in the blanks?
Ooh.
Oh, by blinking out, then why didn't Shari do
A valiant effort.
Oh, why doesn't he? Why is we were talking about blinking in? Was this the
That
blinking
answer
in?
just blinked out.
It's not like.
It's related to that, but that's not what he says in the verse. It's
Okay.
related to blinking out. It's definitely helpful to know that it's related to that. What?
The first part, it's something to do with like,
It's simpler than y'all are thinking.
it's like with wisdom by becoming a real monk.
Well, that's the verse.
Okay.
Yes, real monk is in that same verse.
Mm-hmm.
But by seeing emptiness directly?
By achieving nirvana. You know?
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
think
yeah,
of
but
that.
he just uses a specific phrase. He says Dokin Korwa
Oh, right. Reversing.
by stopping
the wheel.
samsara. And why didn't?
Buddha talk about it again.
Good, yeah.
Wow.
So,
Why didn't the complete Buddha
Oh.
talk about? Before you say that
Just
again,
any old
word.
Buddha.
yeah. I figured as I uttered it.
Tibetan for beginning used here.
In this case, zong.
Good,
Zong.
good. Yeah, great. Okay. Aryanagarta continues to explore this line of thought in the 14th. What view does Gyaltsab Je propose? Because he uses the word view in the verse.
You must have got a lot of sleep last night.
No.
That's why this is also question 1.
Oh yeah. Just ignore
There's
that.
no beginning and there's no
I was trying to play with your
Higher
mind.
view.
Yes, good job. What view does Gyaltsab Je propose that Aryanagarjuna is referring to with regard to accepting a beginning of samsara? Not necessarily an easy question. And it keeps auto-correcting it to samsara. Sorry about that. I think I stopped battling it.
Samsara.
Well, you're holding a wrong
Yeah, that's right. But he's. It seems that Gyaltsab Je is proposing that Aryanagarjuna is specifically. See you guys later. Good luck. Thanks for
Not
clear
dead
goal.
or whatever.
Meant to thank for that too. Anyway, yeah, Gyaltsab Je goes down a particular path, saying that he's holding up view, a certain view. And if you can't
That they
remember,
must
Oh,
have,
something
something
comes
about
from
collective karma.
no, that's cool, but no.
Something comes from nothing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's
the
what I said.
science view, the science thing. No, it's not what you said. You said
That's
something
what I
about
meant.
collecting karma. Has nothing to do with karma.
It's okay.
Big Bang.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
big,
exactly.
it's the Big Bang thing. I mean,
no
maybe what's
beginning.
meant. I'm sorry. I don't know. The view that things must occur without a cause.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Aryanagarjuna concludes. Yes. Question 1. Aryanagarjuna concludes this 14th verse, citing a particular concept, saying that it should throw into question whether beginnings or ends could exist.
Is this the blinking in and blinking out?
No.
Nah.
It's pretty straightforward if you're. I mean, it's just simpler than you might think. If things are.
If
Beginningless.
things are
Sugan.
caused,
Sugan.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Dependent
then
on-
how
Yeah,
can-
thank you. Dependently originated.
Oh, then
Right.
how can you talk about?
How can there be a beginning? How
Yeah,
can there be
yeah.
an end? If
Really
it's
good.
Dependent. That's nice.
Dependence.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a really beautiful
Cool.
verse.
Oh, I had to do one more.
Just
Just because it's the last. Oh,
Oh, I like
Wow.
that. See, finally. King bed.
Yeah, I'll let
Yeah.
the joke go on. It's got the cup of wine.
That's what I'd like to know.
That's why I stayed up late.
Yeah.
Alright. Yinyi. I think I got
Exclusively bad?
Right, wrongness,
Yeah.
A
wrongitude.
real
In
problem.
this case, it was just another word for wrong view.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah.
way it was used.
Okay.
Yinyi. And I think I have another one. There it is.
This is difficult.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun,
Dun.
dun,
Good dun.
It actually has two meanings.
dun. Oh, I only know one of them.
One is demon.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But
Long
this-
rim, too.
He wanted us to do nyenyi for a different word.
Yeah.
Substitute?
He's saying you could, if you're, yeah.
Recite.
Yeah.
Svadhyaya.
Oh, that's another way to say
right, that's
rec-
right. Dun.
Recitation.
Yeah.
It's another way to say. It's related probably to da.
Well, now they say dumba dun. Dumba
Ah.
dun.
Dumba
Dumba
dun.
dun.
Yeah.
Recite the recitation.
Recite. Yeah.
Yeah, recite. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying I'll remember it either. Anyway, cool. Great job, guys. Thank you.
Hey, two sexy words.
Well, I gave
There
the
were
other. There was a.
interstitials.
Yeah.
He just wanted an excuse to show us this picture, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
That's how we feel.
You
about
gotta have
it.
Jaru? This guy should be on the bed.
I don't have him here. I can find one.
No, you put him in. No, just kidding. Okay, here we go.
I wouldn't let him dirty up.
Back to
that bed.
reality. The sphere of activity of Nick.
Y'all don't want to know.
Okay, we read it, but let's read it again just to get in the mood. Tenjin Dewa Kanjua.
Tenjin Dewa Kanjua De La Ngun Tang Tama Chi.
Cool.
What's it mean?
Yeah.
Anything-
Yeah, if things exist
anything-
in dependence,
Yeah.
Anything which occurs in dependence.
however, could there be a beginning and an end?
Yeah, how could it have a beginning and an end? Very good, Mr. Nick. Now you must read this sentence until you make a mistake.
Tendril
Hassle.
Mawa Lan
Hassle him.
Ba Di Me Te Nge Bo De Chung Chisu Ma Wa Te Tarna Den Ching Drel Bar Gang Jung Wa De La Ni Rang Shun Gi Ma Ke Pe Chir Ngun Tok Ma Tang Tama Chitar Gyor Te Kangyang Kelang Miga So sorry, Hassan, it's on a roll.
Yeah, we were showing that their position had problems, and now we say, if you take our, for us, dependent origination professors,
Okay.
those of us who proclaim dependent origination, we don't have your problems. Okay, we don't have your problems of there being a beginning to samsara and an end to samsara.
Okay.
Okay. Why? Because we say ngopos are touches, again.
He went down to take his test.
He's afraid of he's running away from
Things,
We say-
changing things are functioning things are things that exist in
Yeah,
science.
and here you might say Baba. We just say things depend on other things. That's what we say. Okay. So according to us,
Michael.
sorry.
Say microphone.
According to us, and now the bold is the root text, anything which occurs in dependence, that doesn't ke rangshinki.
It doesn't arise self-existent.
Yeah, it doesn't start self-existently, and therefore, how could it ever have a
Beginning.
ngun, and then this is in a positive.
Tokma.
Yeah, an earlier meaning a beginning, and how could it have an ending? Back end and a front end. Okay. Kanyang Kelang Migusa for $50, but it has to be precise.
You need to ask yourself, however, could you accept something like that?
No,
Either one.
$50. $50. Yeah, the Kanyang means either one. Meaning what?
How could you know? I mean, a self-existent.
Yeah, you
and
could.
You can't be accepted.
Yeah. We, and then I'm giving you like $20, okay?
Thanks.
Because it says we don't need to accept either one. Technically, it says that us dependent origination mawas don't have to accept either one.
Cool. That's one of the most understandable sentences in this whole book.
Yeah, and something weird happens. It's getting understandable.
Uh-oh.
I think Tsongkhapa told him, look, just do it.
Take it easy.
Yeah, because in a few pages, he actually breaks into common format,
Wow.
where here's the reality, here's the definition, here's the he just loses the whole insanity thing.
A ghostwriter.
It's like they legalize marijuana suddenly or something. I don't know what happened.
Or they made it easy.
Okay. yeah. Something happened. Okay, here's part 2, which is part 2. I went and got it for you, which is, what's that say?
If things are automatic, then the absurd consequence is that they would be unchanging.
Nice.
Just
Yeah.
right.
If things existed, if there was a nature to things,
Mm-hmm.
then all those things would have to be unchanging. Okay, that's part 2. And here we go. We better go to the commentary. Please read this line. Yeah, thanks for the 2 dots. That's been your demon for a couple of years. Yeah,
For me, if I make it a D in my mind, then I can do it.
Okay. How you do it, I don't care. Okay, dini de konatang pa kilang gate. Now, on this point about beginnings and ends, okay, you have to take it. You must agree. You must certainly agree only to what we say about it. Okay, de konatar means you must follow exactly what we just said. That it's rang shinki mempa. Okay, you gotta follow our party line, because otherwise, shenduna. Okay, shenduna is an old form of shendu. You know, otherwise, you can only get tokmas. Beginnings. Yeah, bashitu. You're gonna end up with beginnings all the time. Okay, mase.
Nothing else.
Mase means
no other choice.
not only that. Mase means not only that. Things are also gonna have to be takpa.
Yeah, permanent.
So not only are you gonna have to have all these beginnings, but you're also saying everything is unchanging. Like even very changing things. Okay.
Say if there was a nature, in this case you do want to use a nature, or you want to use some nature?
You mean all he really said was otherwise? Yeah, he didn't say nature. He just said otherwise. Yeah, you have to agree to what we just said, which is that things don't have their own nature, or don't exist through their own nature, or the best way to say it is don't exist for $50. Yeah. Well, I like to say a nature of its own. So I'm not giving you the money. Yeah, meaning I don't believe it. You know, he has some reason why we can't go to the restaurant tonight, but when you say some, it means I don't agree. Okay. So that's a better adjective to use because it doesn't exist. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Titar, I'll tell you why. If in the past a thing grew, skis, okay, so if in the past a thing grew, which is all the root text says, and he adds through some nature of its own, okay, then for what reason later on would it stop? Got it? Then why would it stop later on? If earlier on it started self-existently, then can you give me a reason why later on, Shine, it wouldn't again stop? Okay. In which case, sorry?
I'm sorry, would again stop.
Yeah, in which case it would have to be takpa. Okay. Okay, if it couldn't stop, it would have to be tapa. If things started self-existently, they couldn't ever stop.
So we would use permanent, not unchanging, to translate takpa in this case, probably, right?
I don't know.
Or even less for
I don't know. No, well, wait till you hear the next phrase. They would have to be takpa because what they are could never modify. Their nature could never modify. It would be impossible. So that kind of supports changing. Yeah. They couldn't ever be modified. They would never go through these changes. I feel like I'm hypnotized. Every time I think you're going somewhere, I feel like I'm going out of my mind. You got me running. You got me hiding. This song is called Changes, okay? I'm not just playing music, okay? We played it once, right? You don't know it and you will never like it.
One master did this thing he wrote called Dim Changes.
That's Jimi Hendrix, by the way. Which you might. Okay, got it? You'll never forget it. Okay, now, Sumba.
Third, Sumbala. Bay go le door temper.
Ndor temba. Ndor temba. Wait. Excuse me. When it's a nasal and there's something good. No shit, padang. Turn. Okay, part 3 is here I got for you. Rangshin me pe pe. I will give you a rangshin me pe pe.
I'll give you an example of something with no nature.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, since you guys can't understand this word no nature, I'll give you a real example. I'll give you a real example, okay? In 3 parts, okay? Number 1, I will make a brief presentation using the example, and then I'm going to explain the example to you. And
Explain the meaning, right?
well, yeah, we have to see what's the difference. But the actual explanation and the point. How's that? Third is the point. Okay. Now, I made this little note here. He repeats a verse he gave before. And then he says, Sheisinto. I already explained that. And this verse, in my mind, doesn't have a lot to do with the metaphor he's going to use.
Okay.
So I don't understand why this piece is here. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, this is the one that says if things are dependent and originating, why would they have a front end and a back end? Because they can't grow by nature. I don't see why this should be here. And I struggled with it, and then I just left it out in my mind, and the whole thing is beautiful. So I think you should go check some carvings.
Okay.
You know, because it is not Dumbo. It is not the brief presentation of the metaphor. That comes in the next verse. Okay? So why he put it there, I don't know. Okay? And then he repeats something from before, and then he says, I already talked about that, and then he goes on to the metaphor. So it's just really weird.
Yeah.
And I struggled with it, and then I realized it didn't make any sense, you know. So actually, we're expecting here, Pe Gone Dortemba, we're expecting a brief presentation of the metaphor, then we're expecting an explanation of the metaphor, and then this is the Pe Den, by the way. Then we're expecting the meaning that the metaphor represents, okay? But, so why this is here, I don't know. We could put it in, and we could say, I already explained that. But I'm hoping we'll find a manuscript that doesn't have it. Okay?
I have 2
yeah, it's uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Translate it, you can do it. Go slow, don't rush. Okay.
Earlier and later. So this either earlier and later or beginning and end.
Earlier and later ends, Chawa.
Are connected.
No.
Oh, are not connected.
Yeah. The universe is devoid of front ends and back ends. Of earlier, of beginnings and endings. That's all he says.
Yeah.
The world is devoid of beginnings and endings. Sansara, right?
Okay.
Because it's like on either edge, right? Ta.
And Drawas Nung as Gumas.
They appear as
Illusions, yeah. Living beings just appear as illusions, okay? That's all. Okay, in a world where there's no beginnings and endings, people as well are just an illusion. Okay, got it? He's jumping from no beginning and no ending to why people should be illusions. Okay,
Yeah.
and he's going to use a bei, a metaphor. Yeah.
The just is modifying illusion or
People just appear as
appearing?
illusions.
The what? Say again.
Just is that's modifying illusion, right?
Where's just?
They appear as shin. They appear
Oh, as though they were. No, in the same way that illusions do. This just means that. Yeah, in the same way that magic tricks do. Magic horses or whatever. Okay, here we go. Rang Shinki.
Ramshinki Makepe Nundam Chime Ta Tam Drelwa Kechi Kyang Dubar Drowe Joa Tenching Drelbar Jungwa Di Ta Gyuma Shindu Rang Shinme Shindu Rang Shin Tam Chepa Nang Shing Luar Chepe Dakni Chenno.
Yeah, I'm sorry, there's no way to cut it. Okay? It's just one long sentence. Okay? Because things rang shinki make,
They don't start through the
yeah,
nature.
because things don't start to their own nature, they are devoid of a ngunkita and a chimita.
The beginning and an end.
Good. And they don't dupa even for a kechik.
They don't go into that category even for a
No. Dupa.
I thought Gupa was
They don't sit still.
Oh.
This means to stay. This is to stay. Yeah, to stay. Dune means your residence. So, this is to stay. They don't sit still, even for an instant. They keep going.
Wow.
Then he's making a pun here, and if you can catch it in the English, good luck. You know, they keep going without a moment's pause. So all goers are, you know, he's trying to be cute by having a droa near Nagarjuna's droa,
Right.
but they're not the same one. Okay, this is a noun, this is a verb. Okay, therefore all goings, all these goings, which are tenchin droa chunwa,
Which exist in dependence.
yeah, they are like gumas
They're like illusions.
because they have rangshin me.
They don't have their own nature.
And this second shin is being cute. You see, dro, shin.
Yeah.
He's showing off his compositional skills.
Yeah.
This shindu is the present participleizer, even as they have no nature. And the implications is at the same time. Okay? When you say shin, like even as he's talking about peace, his assistant is preparing some weapons or something like that. That shin, you know, even as we talk about things having no nature, they appear as though rangshin danchen,
Yeah, they appear as if they have.
as if they did have a nature, and therefore they are luar chepas.
Luar Chipas.
This lu means to
La Luar.
deceive.
Oh, cool.
They are deceivers. Okay. Dagni Chen just means they are entities which deceive us. So Dagni Chen here, when we had Dagni just before, as a combination of two things, here it just means they are entities which deceive us.
Cool.
Okay. And that's one long sentence. Since things don't start to any nature of their own, they are devoid of having a front end and a back end, and they never pause, even for a moment. Thus, living beings who occur in dependence, they are like an illusion in that even while they have no self-nature, they appear as that they did have a self-nature, and therefore they are entities which deceive us. Okay. Okay. All right, go.
Gyuma Shepe Gyume Ta Lang So La Nama Nunta Dang Chi Me Ta To Pa Mirik Pa Shintu Ndila Yang Mirik So.
This is hard, so I'm just going to help you with it, okay? This Gyuma Shepe means people who know.
Oh.
Okay,
People know
people.
it's an illusion?
Yeah, the magician.
Uh-huh.
Just the magician, right? So people who, that's difficult use of these words. The people who know about that it's an illusion,
Yeah.
they look at these gyumetas and longs
These illusory horses.
and elephants, okay, and they understand that it would be incorrect, miriks, or illogical to see any beginning or end to them, any front end or back end to them. They see that it would be illogical. And I wanted to say tok without the S, and then I realized it's okay. Okay, they see that it would be wrong to rightly perceive. Okay, they understand that it would be illogical to rightly perceive
Wow.
that they had a front end and a back end.
Yeah.
And in this case as well, would it be wrong?
Yeah.
What's this case?
A being.
Sansara.
Okay.
It's just we're still on sansara.
Okay.
Just as we understand that if just as a magician would understand that the horse he created had no birth or death, here also things have no beginning and end. Okay.
At the moment he's talking about Durwas, but he's talking about Durwas in reference to Sansara also.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now we get the real example, the real no shepa. Here's the real explanation of the metaphor. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, that supports that this little piece here has no function.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably an error.
It's something weird. Well, the problem is somebody added. I talked about this already.
Yeah.
If it were just a loose verse,
So it looked like it's just a-
so somehow he wants to tie that into the brief presentation of the metaphor. But I don't know. Maybe he just wants to repeat it. You know, things don't have any beginning or end. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Here we get the real metaphor, which is kind of a sexy place to end the term for Nick, because it's understandable, and it's cute, and it's not hard philosophy. It's about dream ladies. Okay. Here we go. Which is something that men can relate to.
Kante Kuma Junsham, Kante Jipar Kyurnam Tu, Kuma Shepa Termimo, Kuma Mishe Young Suse.
The third line is the most important. Can you read it in light of what we said about the last line?
Oh, someone who knows that person.
Good.
About an illusion,
The one who realizes that it's an illusion.
free of darkness.
Good.
Mimo, or she-
He's not fooled. He's not fooled. He's not an idiot. Okay. He doesn't say, "Oh look, it started." June.
Yeah.
He doesn't say, "Oh look, it stopped." Okay. Okay. But how about those other dudes? Line 4.
Yeah, they're young Suse. They're super fooled, I guess.
Not only that, I mean, don't forget this is an illusory sexy lady.
They have
They-
nothing but desire for.
Yeah, so here's strong desire.
Cool.
And what's Gyuma Mishe?
Those who don't understand.
Good, perfect, yeah. So he make a comment, he jumps right into this verse. He says, go ahead, read. Kangba?
Oh, Kangpa Tampo Sumnel Jorpa Kepe
Be.
Be Chipa He Chipa Beo.
Let Nick work it out.
Okay.
Take your time.
The first Kangpa Tampo.
Kangba means
first
line.
3 lines of the verse,
Good, yeah.
are talking about those wise yogis.
Good. Wise yogis, master yogis.
And the 4th line are talking about chivas.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, 2-year-olds.
2-year-olds.
Okay, the first 3 lines are talking about he doesn't get fooled. And then the 4th line's talking about those 2-year-olds who get fooled by the illusion. The 2-year-olds are trying to touch the baby in the mirror. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, go ahead.
Temo mi kepe rangshin chenda kume na chung tetha la shatra tang chepe na.
This is a nachung, okay? So I promised you 2 today, right?
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Natsu.
Yeah, natsu meaning
In your life.
Yeah,
In your
life
adult
force.
life.
yeah, life force. And now we got nachung.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the first one in this text so far, right?
Yeah,
Not chung tu shen na.
good.
Tu gangi tse na chung di ta chung shin hie bar cure.
Sure. Okay. What's demo?
Softo.
Demo means somebody watching a show. What's it called?
Spectator?
Yeah, spectator. Yeah, you can see the word to view in there.
Yeah.
Oh, right, sure.
Okay. So, yeah, spectators who are not in the know. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. They those who think, I would read it as those who still think things have their own nature. Okay.
so like spectators who are not in the know and still think things have their own.
Yeah, yeah. They shen. Here's the verb.
They're attached.
Yeah, they have this attachment to the idea that a gyume nachung, and nachung means a fair maiden,
Nice.
a young maiden, and you have to read it as nachung. Okay, it's a little bit like
Our lives.
chungma, which is
What?
the wife word, the little one, my little one. So nachung, and it's, I'm sorry, it's, what do you call it?
Diminutive, pejorative.
It's pejorative, yeah. Gyume nachung. So now they're not talking about horses and elephants. They're talking about the magician makes a beautiful maiden who is illusory. She's not real. She's just an illusion. But they shen
But
that she has sha and tak,
meat and
blood. Yeah,
Flesh and blood.
she's a flesh and blood woman. Okay. They dadla, they have this shen belief that she's a maiden, of her as a maiden, not chung du, as a maiden who's made of flesh and blood. Okay. And then at that point, to Kangitsena, because they believed that, then they would have to say that she came and went. Okay. Sorry, they would have to say that she occurred, which means that she started. So they didn't get to the end yet. Okay. Believing that she is flesh and blood, they would have to say she was born at some point. Which means if you misunderstand samsara, you would have to say it started at some point. Okay. She's a metaphor for samsara. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. I'm gonna, let me jump this down for you. Okay, here we go. Can I cut it here? I'll make it easier for you. And then they would, since they believed that she was born, they would also have to believe that in time she will die. Okay, they would have to believe that. But now let's take these other guys who shape out that it's a rangshin of a gyuma.
I understood that it was
Yeah, so here are these other kibbutz, these guys, who understand that it's of a nature of an illusion. When they look at the gyuma cup, they are mimo.
Yeah, they're free of that
They don't
darkness.
see.
Yeah,
They are not.
not foggy about it.
They're not fooled the way that way, the way the other guys are. They don't abishen her.
Or they don't hold
Okay, yeah.
or they don't super.
They don't have this super hots for her. Super hots for her. Okay, they don't have it. Okay, and it's only It's only the temo was, okay, misspelled, okay.
And the spectators.
Yeah, it's only the spectators who don't understand
Yeah.
that it is of the nature of an illusion who
Hold on to it.
say her,
Desire.
who want to run after her,
Yeah.
okay. And Shemba, he's glossing Yongsuse
Uh-huh.
as this is in the positive sense. They're the ones who are chasing her.
Yeah.
And according to Buddhism, everyone's doing this.
Yeah.
Anyone who chases a woman is chasing an illusion. Okay, we knew that, but we just didn't see it written down.
It's interesting that he chose the
Okay.
lower middle way
Yeah, right.
because it's like a lower school thing.
Yeah, this is their popular thing, right? Yeah.
Except they use a horse and an elephant. This is much stronger.
Yeah, and this is actually more common. The illusory lady is more common. It's just that we haven't met her before.
We have like a
Okay.
tension here, like a discomfort going on about the way that he's denying beginnings and endings because we still want him to say that you can end samsara.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we want to say an end to samsara, but it has a different meaning for us.
Right?
Yeah.
We're at time, gives the word time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
Boy.
this one's a longer break. We can take a couple minutes since we did the whole.
Yeah, let's do at least the verse. So we're on the. Say again? Oh, good. I forgot. See, I tend to forget things that are older than 20 years. We've reached the Dun Shepa, which is Pedun Shepa. He should have said Pedun Shepa. Yeah, what's the example? What's the metaphor for? Okay, what's the metaphor for? Okay, here's the metaphor for.
Mapo Mikyu Tong Chawa Lo Yi Tangwa Kyurwani Nungi Down Chi Me Tar Tawa Youngsu Laming Yor.
Nice.
Wow, and that confirms that it's Baba, doesn't it? Like.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Oh, yeah.
But Sipa is a lot more relevant here because we're talking about samsara. You see, the Tengyur is actually preferable to whatever translation Gyaltsab Je is using.
Right, yeah.
Okay, and it'd be interesting. This is a very graduate student thing to examine the differences between the translation he's using and the current Tengyur translation.
Yeah.
So if we see that life is like a mikyu, that's a mirage. Okay, in the desert. Loi Tonwa Gyurnani, those who see it with their mind, which may imply direct perception of emptiness. Okay, I'm just setting you up. Okay, and in fact it is. See here, Ngun Sum De Tong, in the Nyamshak. Okay, so he also wants to read it that way. Loi Tonwa Gyurnani, and the tip off is the tong. For Tonglam, okay? When they see it, they are not infected. They're not infected by the view that this has a beginning or an end. Okay? Those who have been in the direct experience are not infected by the idea that it has a beginning or an end. Self-existently, okay?
So Geshe-la,
Yeah.
grammar question. So
Yeah.
when you add the or, like the
Yeah.
to a word that already has an al suffix,
Yeah.
you put just two al's. It looks. I've never seen it. Like
Yeah,
that
I've never
before.
seen that.
When you need meter, you split it off.
Oh.
Okay, and you don't make it a diphthong. You don't say ngungi tom chimitar. You say ngungi ta chimitar.
Wow.
That's all. It's illegal. It's a legal way to make your meter. Okay, good question. Now let's do the. We're out of time, or we have.
We're out of time.
Let's do this one, and then I'm gonna gloss the next one for you.
We have a long break here too.
We have a longer break.
Oh, it'd be nice to get through the second paragraph here. Okay, so I'm going to read this one to you without Nick reading, but Nick, read this first one.
Chetang me lup tok be lo tong che chi me penyon ten do.
Dento.
Ten do.
Che dambo means the first half of this verse, which means the first two lines. are describing the neluk topelo
The view, the realization in the mind.
of the way things are. Okay, meaning the direct perception of emptiness. And then the second two lines are describing the opinion
The benefits
of that experience.
seeing it that way.
Cool?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to read the next one, okay, just so we can, because it's cute.
Cool.
Neljo Bangobo du Che Malupa Kimada Mikyu and Dower Lon Yamsha Sosorana be Yeshi King under the Toma Yubangungi Ta Tawa Am Chimita Tawe Tak Cheki Tawe Gillios and remember Ching Sing Ming Euro. Now Jopa, there's yogi guys who in their deep direct perception of emptiness, okay, Nyamshak, in that state of mind, see that all produced things, which is how I want to read Ngopo, which Tengyur reads as Sepa, okay? When they see that all those things are like an illusion or like a mirage, okay? And then he calls it Sosarana Biyeshi, but which means the wisdom which sees things individually, okay? And it can mean kind of a rangrik, okay? But this is an idiom, it's an old idiom for the direct perception of emptiness, okay? The wisdom which intuits things, okay? Something like that, okay? It's unusual. It sees directly that things are like an illusion, okay? And therefore, I would like to read lay here. Okay? I would like to read lay here. And it's missing. Okay? So I'm just suggesting. Or maybe his version said min. Okay? But what it says is, when they see it directly, their minds are not polluted and not under the grasp of this viewpoints of takche, misspelled here.
Right.
That things could go on forever or things were never there. Okay, those two extremes. They are not, they don't have this view that things could have a beginning end or a final end, which is to say that things could last forever or not be there at all. Last forever without changing or not be there at all. So he's equating the two extremes to seeing things as having a beginning and seeing things as having an end, which he just said implied takpa. Okay, so this can't be pratak. Okay. Okay, and their minds, you don't say ripened by, they are not ripened by these two wrong views. He should have used the verb polluted, which is here, and he didn't gloss otherwise. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, got it? This had to have been late. Okay, and then he glosses lay for you, meaning under the power of, held by that viewpoint. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you really want to get indigestion, let's finish this section. And I'll go over with you, okay? Nyam shaki tokcha deni gimatabar tumba yinki. Nyam shaki ngor gimatabar tumba ni mayendong. What we're saying here is that the thing that the direct perception that the direct perception sees is itself similar to an illusion. Okay. But we are not saying that that state of mind can understand that there's an illusion.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's a very cool comment. I'll say it again.
Yeah.
What we're saying is that what the direct perception of emptiness sees is itself similar to an illusion. But we are not saying that that state of mind could detect an illusion. could detect that something is an illusion, because that's a decision.
It's seeing that things are like an illusion, but it's
Yeah.
detect an illusion?
No, what it sees is like an illusion,
Is like an
but it doesn't see that it is an illusion because it can't,
Because you can't see
because it's a direct perception of emptiness.
Right.
It cannot make decisions. It cannot make statements. It cannot say, "Oh, this looks real, but it's fake."
Wow.
Okay, it's a very cool distinction.
Yeah.
Got it?
That's awesome.
What he's looking at is an illusion,
Yeah.
but he doesn't think that during that time. Okay, all right.
The fact that things are no other than an illusion is appearing as an illusion?
That's what I'm.
Well, you guys do that on the background. Last sentence. Because the understanding, now here he nails it down. Here he nails it down. Because the understanding that nirvana is similar to an illusion is a nominal state of mind. Cannot be going on in the direct perception of emptiness. So now he tied it up because he brought the whole argument back to nirvana,
Yeah.
which is where the discussion of samsara having an end or not came from.
Right.
And this is so sweet. He brings it all back to nirvana. Okay, and I'll say it again. The understanding, kwa, that nirvana is like an illusion, is a nominal state of mind. And it's not the direct perception of emptiness.
It's not.
It's not the nyamshak.
Yeah.
Or it's not nyamshakish. Nyamshakpa. Got it? It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool, yeah. By the way, we're on to a section that goes all the way back to the beginning of the book.
Cool.
So we're on a whole new major section of the whole book, which is a good place to start next term. Okay.
Wow.
We're gonna go back to the idea of the two extremes. So this is, he's finished with a third of his book, and he wants to go on to another completely different section.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good place to stop.
That's exactly where you prophesized that we would end.
Yeah, well, that's the only one that was exact. What's the date?
19th.
End of. Okay, good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shibaki Choshi Meto Tamri Rabinshi Niende Embani Sange Shindu Mikdeoa Ido Gunamda Shina Chubasho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamniyatayami Nike Ogun Sunam Yeshe Sozoshin Sunam Yeshe Lechungwe Nambakui Tomarsho Shmogi Dogi.
Thank you.
Yay, a whole page we understood. Yeah.
It was kind of